What is going on, everybody? This is Striker, welcoming you to episode number 240, I'm pretty sure. And that means we are at a Minecraft special. We do this every 10 episodes, in case you're new. So this episode will be a half hour in length. Now, I went ahead and went back home, came back out here, and grabbed myself one of the leads that we had inside of the mall. So I'm going to see if I can lasso this bad boy. I can! Okay, so there's a couple of things that I'm a little concerned about when it comes to lassoing a killer bunny. First off, they cause damage. They cause a lot of damage. So, if the lead stretches and yanks him towards me, like that, there's a potential that he could beat the absolute snot out of me before I have a chance to react, and I could die. So, we just have to be super careful. Why are you so stuck? Okay. I don't know. I feel like this is probably the dumbest thing we can actually do, because it's like fighting with fire. Where'd he go? Did he fall in the hole? You idiot. And he's taking damage too, which means we have more of a chance to accidentally kill him when we get him home. The good news is, if this guy dies, we do have a second one, or have the opportunity to find the second one. Ah! See? This is what I'm talking about. He's scary, ladies and gentlemen. This dude is scary. The amount of damage he causes as a little bunny is just ridiculous. I also have to be careful, because if you stretch the lead too far, the lead will break, and then I've got to find the lead, and then I've got to find him. So it causes a couple of problems there, but it looks like we're actually making some pretty decent distance comparatively to the last time, especially because we're going a little bit further. It would be nice if there was some sort of like capture device in which you could like put an animal inside of a chest almost, and then you could just pick them up like that and then take them wherever, and then it'd be fine. You know, you just open the box or chest or whatever and you release them from it. Or there was a better, more consistent way of getting a mob on a lead, because the leads are finicky in and of themselves, especially with the ability for them to break, and I mean, animals rubber banding on and off of them, and all sorts of issues. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a better thing that could be instituted, but I don't know what that better thing is. I think I busted the lead. I did. There we go. Come on, buddy. So you can't get too far away. You can only get like, I don't know, maybe 8-10 blocks away. You also can't try to yank them through a tree, as I just found out. I figured they'd kind of just go around it, you know, because entities take up space, and so do mobs, and so do blocks. And so, ow! See, that's what I'm talking about. That rubber band right there, that's what's gonna kill us. So I think if he hits us 4 times, we're dead. I also didn't really map out the direction I'm supposed to go very well, so I'm just kind of trying to take him on the path of least resistance, because I know we have to go that way for a while. Oh jeez, he's right behind, okay. Ah, see, that's what I was afraid of. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and go find myself the other rabbit. We'll go ahead and take a smidgen of a jump cut here. I'll go find the other killer bunny, and then we'll see what I can do to get him back, because, yeah, I figured that was going to happen, because rabbits don't have a whole lot of hearts. They only have, like, 4 or 5 hearts, so, you know, we're a little disadvantaged here. But anyways, I'll go find the other one, and I will pick you guys up in just a second. Okay, so I looked around for a little bit, you know, 10 to 15 minutes, and wasn't able to find the other one, but we have a potential opportunity to do that, because I did go ahead and put another layer of scaling onto the map. Unfortunately, our holdback right now is literally just 1 sugarcane, because we'll be able to make more paper, and then go ahead and, oh, there we go, and then we'll be able to put more scaling on this. Let's go ahead and grab all of this paper, and we go like this, and like this. Wow. So now, look at how small our little settlement area is over on the left side. So we're going to go ahead and fill in this map and see just how gigantic we can get this thing to be. And it's going to be pretty cool for it to be such a big old master map. Now I'm thinking, if I go ahead and go with like the master map idea, the other map is going to have to be to the left, because like my settlement area is really, really little tiny. But anyways, because of that, we might be able to actually find a killer bunny. I might be able to sleep, actually. Yeah. There we go. Oh, the map doesn't like pop up in your view anymore. It kind of just like sits down. But anyways, so there we go. Let's go ahead and get some exploration on, even if it's just local exploring. We need to be able to get this map filled out to see just how big of an area we're actually looking at. I did keep the lasso on me. No, I put the lasso back. So if we end up seeing another killer bunny out here, we can try to lure him back. Ouch. Now, if I put this over here, does it still show? Okay, it does. We're good. I'm going to keep this over on the left hand. That way it doesn't take up the whole screen. How about that? How about that? Now, the biggest difference is just how fast you go with Speed 2 versus regular. So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start brewing up a bunch of Speed 2 potions to take on the road, or splash potions, because you don't have to worry about making all the bottles and keeping all the bottles in your inventory. You know, you can stack them and throw them, and then you're good to go. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now we're at pretty much the boundary of that. We've got it all filled out. This is really cool, though, because it's going to be able to give us a little bit of perspective. You know, with our gigantic wall, it really doesn't give us a whole lot of space to look at. You know, it's a pretty small kind of map. I think we're actually just about as far as the upper region goes on our map. Now when it comes to the lower portion, it'll give us more on this extended map than it would on the big map wall that we already have inside of the mall. So let's go ahead and just keep going a dish away-ish. Now I don't think there's anything too exciting, like we're not going to find like an exposed spawn or anything like that, but you know, there's always a chance that we could find something. I'm not really sure what all of the local area around here is like anyways, so it's nice to kind of refamiliarize yourself with the area. I play on a couple of different worlds. You know, I have an older world that I play on. I might want to go grab that sugarcane. With Andrew, we play it kind of like on our free time currently, and then we'll probably go back to recording. It's a map we played like back in 2014, so you know, you kind of have to get used to where all the coordinates and stuff are in that. Then I play another one that's a modded map with Coolio. And then, even on top of that, with all of our pretty much the last 40 episodes, excluding like this set, so like the last 35 episodes, we've been out in the desert area where we built the gigantic sandcastle. So anything that we've been familiar with over here, we've kind of lost that. You know, we've been in the desert, so this kind of becomes back of the cranium, you know, back of the mind. It's not something you have to really worry about daily. But it's nice to refamiliarize ourselves with everything that's going on around here. Now, I would love to go around this water, but it's not going to be super beneficial for us when it comes to the amount of map that it'll kind of show. I'm kind of hoping that we'll find another Mega Taiga or Taiga, whichever one. I think they both might have it, but the ones that have Pod Soul in it. And I've got some Silk Touch on my pickaxe, so I can get a couple hundred blocks with that and then kind of go off of there. For how many little garden areas we can make, or if I want to use Pod Soul in only certain spots or whatever. Also, if I find a bunch of different flowers, I can grab those too. I have sunflowers, which are kind of like the rarest ones, at least. There's a couple of other flowers that I would love to get, but they're not like in standard plains or flower forests. They're like in the jungle biome and stuff. And I think we found a jungle biome, but it was on complete accident when we were looking for the Woodland Mansion, and it was like 20,000 blocks away. So obviously they are a pretty rare biome in and of itself, but it would be nice to see if there's maybe one at least semi-close. And it looks like we're going to have to explore into the ocean here in order to get this map to be fully filled out in this top corner. What's that? Is that one of my portals? One of my exploration portals? That's what it looks like. Is that a portal? Have I ever had a portal just outlet over the top of water? Or is that the only thing that spawned in and the rest of the whatever? It might be that one Christmas special we had with, I think it was Krampus that we had it? Maybe? I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a portal that just whoop, right there in the middle of nowhere. And I don't want to go through it because I have no idea what's on the other side and I don't want to ruin anything, you know. This is legitimately just a portal floating in the air. At least that's what it looks like. Huh, this might be one of our little exploration portals. I'll go back to being on the map and stuff, but yeah, this must have been one of our exploration portals. And then we came out here and we're like, oh, there's nothing. And we went back in the portal. Yeah, look at that. Floating portal. That's pretty cool. Actually, I'm not even sure if that will show up on the map or not. It probably won't just because it's so small. Okay, so now we need to go inlet a little bit more and then this way. So this is pretty cool. At least the terrain here. It looks like, what's that called? The mountains? The mountains. That's all I can come up with. The mountains. We'll just go with that. It's like Mountain Plus, whatever the heck it is. Obviously, we can get to that in a moment. We should be in an ocean biome. You have some sand over there, but I don't think that's actually part of a desert. I'm pretty sure that's just a river biome. Yeah, that's what it's called. A river biome. It's got a bunch of the sand like on the banks of it. So it looks like there might be a way to actually get up here, which is great. That's a nice, pretty waterfall. If I do say so myself. And we can keep going south just a little bit. What is this called? Extreme Hills, that's it. Not mountains, Extreme Hills. Okay. So I don't know if I want to go that way or if I want to keep going. Let's just keep going down. Let's get the edges of the map filled out because those are kind of like the farthest part away. And then we can snake our way back. I just want to make sure that I'm getting every pixel cleared up and on there. Pretty cool area though. Not a lot of variation in terms of the blocks. A lot of it is stone versus having a lot of andesite or granite or whatever in it. But what's nice about this map also is if we ever go out like looking for that other killer bunny or we find one or whatever, we can always keep this map on us, even if it's just in like the ender chest or in a shulker box or something like that. We can kind of keep our bearings on where we're at, how far we are away from home, and how to get back, you know, just with this map. Because this is it's a pretty large map, in all honesty, and there's a possibility now that there's bunnies here that we might be able to find another killer bunny. So it's not guaranteed, obviously, like I said, it's like 1 in 125,000 bunnies is a killer bunny when it spawns. So it's obviously a very, very rare thing to find. But at this point I found 4 of them. 2 of them have died, so that's great. I really like that color pattern on the one set of bunnies, you know, the black and white spotted kind of deal. That's also one thing that we can probably start breeding as well. Ooh, I missed some pixels up this way, I think, on the edge. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we need to stay over this way a little bit more. See, that's a regular white bunny that doesn't have the horizontal eyes. I'm going to assume, because this thing hasn't hit me, it's a regular white bunny. But yeah, if the bunny has vertical eyes, then it's a regular white bunny, and if it's got the horizontal eyes, then it's a killer bunny. Which, interestingly enough, that's not even like the first version of a killer bunny that was introduced in this game. It's gone through several changes in its overall look to get to the point of where it's at right now. Because originally, when it was conceived, it had like red on its paws and around its mouth area, like blood. Because it was a reference to something at some point in time, whatever, mythical thingy, or whatever. It was like a Shakespearean story or something like that it was a reference to. So they went ahead and went with that, you know, the whole killer bunny thing, but then they're like, well, this is more of like a child's game, so to speak, for the most part, so we don't really want to have a bunch of blood. Hey, there it is! That's what I was talking about, the one Christmas special, where we had the little area up there. There was a bunch of gifts up in that little area over there. It was after, I'm pretty sure it was after Krampus. Pretty sure it was after that Krampus area. Unfortunately, that is going to be just out of the bounds of this map, but when we go ahead and put an extra layer of scaling on this, that should be able to show up. So that'll be kind of cool to keep in mind for the future. See, a lot of plains over here. It's not very flat plains, though. Is this actually titled something else? No, it is still plains. This would kind of be a cool area to build, like right around here. So you've got like the mountains in the distance, and then you've got a little bit of a lakefront kind of deal. I'm going over here to grab the sugarcane because the sugarcane is not growing fast enough for my liking recently. So let me just snag all of this. I also like how trees grow around it. I think it's funny. And yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I picked up a seed, which I don't need. Hey, now we can go back up this way. And we're good. This is a pretty big ravine over here. Just kidding. No, it's not. It actually doesn't go that deep and doesn't really continue unless it continues this way underground. Nope. Okay, well, just kidding. It's not a very big ravine. I lied. Just kidding. Gotcha. Pranked. You're on candid camera. Haha. Here's another exploration portal. I don't think these are going to be able to be really all that visible on the map. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll stand right next to it and see if we can see anything on the map. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like there's a little black bar or anything like that that's at least visible enough. Looks like a skeleton came through and died, so that's fun. Nope. Okay, well, that's pretty cool, though. We're getting a little bit of perspective on where we've been in terms of our exploration portals. Oh, speaking of other work that I did, I forgot to mention this in the last episode. I went ahead and did a ton of work in the Nether, getting the whole tunnel to the sandcastle lit up with torches. And then I also started installing the rail system. So I got about maybe a third of the way through on the rail system. I have to make a ton of rails, and that's where a lot of my iron is about to go. So I'm about to end up being completely iron poor, which means we're going to have to go back to caving here soon. So we've been doing some building the past 5 episodes. The next set of 5 episodes will either be back at the castle doing some work over there, or we will be going caving or trying to find a way to get underground to the point where we can at least find some iron, because we're literally out of iron once I make all of these rails. Because I had, I think, 3.5 stacks that I had accrued over time off of abandoned mine shafts and stuff. And then when I went ahead and used all of that, it was like 3.5 stacks, and it literally only got me a third of the way down there. So it was a pretty unfortunate event for me to see that all of the rails that we had built up over time got used and were gone, and that was it, and it wasn't even close to what we needed. So I'm gonna have to make a ton more rails, and powered rails, because I'm putting them, I think, the same as I did on my last one, the one that goes down to the village portal. So I think it was like every 11, it's like 11 rails and then a powered rail, and then 11 rails and then a powered rail. So, you know, there's quite a bit of also gold that's going to go into it, because you need gold for the powered rails, but there's quite a bit of iron that's going to be used. Now when I'm doing this map, I'm going to try to avoid mobs as best as possible, especially groupings of 3 skeletons. Yeah, no thanks. I need to go this way, so I'm going to see if I can swing wide around them. And then we'll go ahead and go back home, I suppose. See if we can sleep. Ouch. Ouch! What a shot this dude has! I don't want to blow up, and I don't want to anger a bunch of things. There we go. Take no damage if we fall into the water. That's a better idea. Just run up and through here. I didn't think that we would actually get this far into nighttime being out, but then again, this map is a lot bigger than I really thought it was. Okay, we're up. And then home should be on the other side of this gigantic hilly mountain in front of us. Thank goodness for feather falling, by the way. I know that I rely on feather falling way too much. First off, terrain generation and more terrain generation. Floating tree up there, pretty dope. But in half of these drops, like that one right there, that would have killed a player without feather falling 4 on their boots. So, you know, shout out to me and my inability to actually take smart ways up and down. Am I still being shot at? Jeez! I'm not even trying to anger you guys, just let me be. Also, when it came to that killer bunny dying, I went ahead and did a little bit of area scouting as to where it fell to its death. It was literally on the opposite side of the roofed forest that we built next to. So it died in very, very close proximity to where we were actually trying to go, like 200 blocks away maybe. So it's unfortunate. It's always unfortunate, especially when you lose something rare like a killer bunny. That's also the second one we have lost. I don't know. I might be able to try to do it again on my own time. Like after the set of 5 episodes is over, I might be able to get a killer bunny and bring it home and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get a killer bunny back in there, just because we had one and Minecraft took it away from us, and I'm not sure why it did, because it shouldn't respawn because it's named, and it was in an enclosed area, so it doesn't have enough area to run in order to be considered a free mob, which then can despawn. So I don't know what actually happened to let it despawn like that, but it was a very unfortunate occurrence. Now what I want to do is sleep and then get the perspective of how big this map is according to our map wall. So we're going to go ahead down here to this corner over here and take a look at just how far we got out on the right. Okay, so you can see this river here is right above the house, And then you've got the gray thing, and then there's the snow piece, and then it ends at the start of the water, which is in like the middle top portion of the map that we have currently filled in. So there's a ton that we explored that way. Also, we go way south comparatively. You can see the river run right below. It's at the bottom of this map, and it's about halfway down on that map, and then everything else is brand new uncharted territory. And I think that this is, yeah, level 3 of 4. So there's still one more level when it comes to just how big we can get this map to be. Or I guess how much area we can get this map to show. So go ahead and do this. See if we can get all of these pixels up here. It is a little bit hard to tell sometimes if you actually do complete it, especially when the scaling is this big. So I think what happens is it gets it to the point where like chunks are only represented by like 4 blocks or 4 pixels. Okay, I'm just gonna go here because it's a little bit closer to where we already have cleared. I just don't want to have any blank pixels in it, you know? I don't want to have areas that end up being that like creamish, manila-ish color kind of deal. I want to be able to have ourselves a full map without having to worry about coming back out here again. Obviously, I'll have to do this again when it comes to the next level of scaling, but I doubt we'll do that on camera. I think what we'll go ahead and do is just do that off camera and then show you guys what the master map looks like, and then I can just duplicate it, and boom, we're done! Like I said, I'm not sure which direction we're going to do for all of this. I also don't know how the scaling really works when it comes to expanding maps. Like, if I were to make a map to the left of where my settlement area is, like on the left side of the map, can I just make a map out there on the left side and then scale it and it'll scale to the left side, or will it scale where it will include everything else? I don't know what the bounds are for the scaling of maps, so I might have to do a little bit of research on my own in order to figure out just exactly how to make like a gigantic map like this. It is kind of cool seeing how small our spawn area is comparatively to everything else that's out here, you know, all of the natural wilderness, so to speak. So it's cool, it gives us some perspective. It gives us a little bit of an idea of what's out there. Oh, I thought I clipped the water edge. Nope, just kidding. We're gonna take all the fall damage in the world. We're actually coming up right here on the end of the area that we need to clear. So we should be good, like right over here past these flowers. Looks like we're good. I am gonna go this way just a little bit, and then we'll start going south. Is this south? I think this is south. Yeah, this is south. We're facing to the bottom on the map, which means it's south. We do need to keep going this way, actually, just to make sure that we don't have any pixel issues. Okay, right here looks good, and then it should just be another loop around. It should just be like a snake, you know? Go around the outside and then snake it through the middle, and we should have everything nice and cleared and explored. But this does give us a lot of extra terrain over here on the right side, so if we're planning any future builds especially, we can kind of take that into account, you know, where some of this terrain is, if it's going to be any good for what we want to do. Ooh, more sugarcane. I think I want some of that. Thank you. 14 sugarcane. That's better. I do think it's funny that sugarcanes are now sugarcanes instead of reeds, because initially, when they were in Minecraft, they were reeds, and they were reeds for a while. But now they're sugarcane because they give you sugar. Well, they also give you paper too, which I guess reeds would, depending on the kind of reed and how you process it. I mean, theoretically, you can kind of make paper out of anything, as long as it's processed the right way. But I'm no expert at paper, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So anyways, we're getting close here to the bottom, and then it's going to be like half the distance that we've traveled in order to actually fill this map out completely. I need to keep going over here to the left just a smidge in order to make sure that all of these pixels get filled out. And this is a gigantic forest area. It's just a regular, I think, forest biome, right? Yeah. It's got all of the birch and oak and all sorts of just semi-flat land, semi-flat. It's got some flowers and, like, you know, normal grass and stuff, but there's nothing too special about it. Now, the first area we actually did spawn in, hey, look, an apple, was a forest biome when we spawned in, and then we found that area just adjacent to it. We built the gigantic watchtower at the beginning of the series, and then after, like, 10 episodes, yeah, I didn't think I could make that, but it was worth a shot. Anyways, after, like, 10 episodes, or it was, like, on the 10th episode, I went ahead and explored outwards because that was when they did the caving update, which introduced granite, andesite, and diorite. So being in an area where it was just stone was pretty boring, at least moving forward. You know, there were no new blocks. And the good part about that was I hadn't really loaded... Ooh, a black bunny. Those aren't really all that common either. But anyways, the area over there, I hadn't loaded a whole lot of it because it was right at the beginning of the series. I mean, I had gone underground and made a little bit of a strip mine. I had also made a smidgen of a like underground base kind of deal. But I didn't do a whole lot of exploring outwards, so I didn't have to go very far. That's why we're actually not that far. We're less than a day's trip in Minecraft from our original area where we had that watchtower at. It actually... It's really easy to get to. It's pretty much just a straight shot out, but it's okay. We've actually visited it on a couple of occasions. If we ever fly to the mall area, not the mall, sorry, the sandcastle area, from the mall, we pass that tower up if we're on the Elytra wings. So it's pretty cool to see like where we started, where we're at, and where we've been going. You know, I guess theoretically, it's all a step up, so, you know, the first time... This is just ridiculous, this whole area out here, how big this is. So the first time, we went from a very small, very basic base, underground, like, slightly underground. I mean, there was enough that you could... Ow, 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 ow. Okay, we're good. There was enough that some of it was exposed, so, like, we could put some glass to get some light in there. But anyways, we went from a very small underground base to an area that had all sorts of new blocks in it and new opportunities for us. It was a roofed forest, which I really like dark oak, so I mean it was a good opportunity for me. And then we go to an area that is hyper detail oriented when it comes to the castle. I mean there was a ton of work that went into getting that castle where it's at, so I don't know, it looks all like a step up almost. So I'm pretty excited for the next Nomad Trials, to be completely honest. Just because it'll give me another opportunity to build something unique, something a little bit different, you know, and kind of venture out from my norm, you know? I tried to do that with the sandcastle, and I really did a good job, I think, in at least my opinion, of kind of switching up, like, how I do things, and how I build things, and how I survive, and stuff like that. So it was nice. It was a good change. A good change of pace. It'll be cool to see what the next one brings us. I'm still kind of debating what kind of biome I'm looking for to do the next one. If we go on the same kind of idea as like extremes, I would need to go to either a snow biome or a mesa biome. So if I do like a snow biome, we'd have to do like older style log cabin kind of deal. And then I can make like a whole settlement area there, or I can make like a gigantic winter castle. Or if we choose a mesa, I can kind of do like an old western themed build with a bunch of, you know, older, more browns and more grays kind of deal. Make, you know, like a saloon and a bank and stuff like that. You know, be able to make like a themed build with the mesa. Currently, I don't know where there is a mesa biome, especially one that's at least semi-close to where we're at. So, you know, it might be a little bit of a trip in order for me to kind of figure that out. We might need to do some exploration portals, or I might just need to pop on the Elytra wings and just fly all over the place, over the world, basically, and see if I can find an area that would be suitable. So I don't know. We could do that. We could do mesa. We could do a snow biome. We could do a mega taiga. We could do an area. I just want to make it kind of hard on myself. That was the idea with the desert. Like, it was tough to get started. The food was scarce, especially. I mean, at one point, I was legitimately eating rotten flesh because I was out of food, and I didn't know what else to do about it, so it's alright. We did have that village out there, so technically I could have been growing crops, but I felt like that was a little cheaty, especially early on. Once we got to, like, episode 20, you know, it didn't matter if I went to the village, because by that point, if you had a village, you'd be able to explore it, or you'd be able to find one by episode 20, typically. So I just wanted to make sure that it was a little bit harder on myself. We might continue with that trend of making things harder for my survival, you know? Now we're almost done with this section here, and then we've got just that little blob left to do. Now it is kind of sad on the map that it's really hard to distinguish, like, this area, the spruce forest, from a regular forest. I figured they would have made it so it was more distinguishable. because spruce trees are a darker wood and darker leaves than like the standard oak tree and birch tree. We're gonna kind of have to zigzag this one around if we're gonna be able to fill in all of these pixels. I don't like swimming, but unfortunately, that's all we kind of have to do at this point in order to complete this map, because we're so close, and then home's not that far away. That's why I did it this way, so we'd end up at home. Now, I don't think there's any pixels that we left. There might be a couple, but when we go ahead and resize this map, a lot of this, anything that's on the outside of this area that we have done at this point will need to be filled in again anyways, which I think what we're going to do when it comes to that is we'll go ahead and use the elytra and fly up and over it. I think that'll be cool. It'll give us a nice little time to just fly around, but this was that flower forest I was referencing about grabbing all the flowers. I think I was talking about that last episode. Don't look the Enderman in the eye, and we're good. Now I need to go back this way. And then we're actually done, I'm pretty sure. Once we get this little area in front of us, like on the other side of this water, we should be able to return to home. Yeah, it's just filling in the last couple of bits that we missed over there. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we got everything. We might have missed a couple. Like I said, it's quite possible, because there are a couple of like white-looking spots, but they could just be like a very tall peak on a mountain, which does have, you know, a little bit of a snow cap on it. So I'm not 100% sure if we got it all or not, but when we go ahead and go out on our elytra, we will be able to kind of fill it all in and make sure we got it all. Now, what we can do, just before I end this episode, because we are pretty close to the... Oh, I ran out of spring. We are pretty close to the time limit. Well, actually, I think we're just over it. We can go ahead and increase this one more time with all of the sugarcane that I grabbed off of our adventure. And we can take a look at just how dramatic the difference is between level 4, or level 3 and level 4. Let's go ahead underground here. Go ahead and take this out of my offhand. We don't need that blocking our view anymore. I still say, man, this is one of my favorite areas that I've built, is this underground greenhouse area. We got 1 paper. We need 8 paper. There's 4. I don't need slabs of those. That's 7. 10. Okay, now this map, look at how tiny that is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's actually really awesome that it gets that small. All of that area that we filled in is pretty much just gone. So that's awesome. I was gonna go put that in the wrong area. This is where it goes, right there. And then paper. I don't know what to do with paper. I'll just hold on to that for now. Excuse me, but look at how dramatic that is. That's like a 30-fold map. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to the end of this episode here. And, you know, I'll probably keep my thinking cap on for a little while, do some more work over here. And we'll just see where it goes, where the next set of episodes takes us. I don't really want to commit to going anywhere specific, so we'll just see. We'll just see, alright? So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you all next time.